John Rockefeller left us many business tactics that are more relevant today than ever. That is why here at EcoNews we have compiled the 25 best keys that helped him achieve success. Subscribe to the channel and activate the notification bell so you don't miss more content like this. Now, let's get started. John Rockefeller has been the richest man in history. With only 25 years old, he controlled one of the largest oil refineries in the United States. At the age of 31, he had the most important refinery on the planet. By the time he was 38, his monopoly controlled 90% of all the oil refined in the United States. When he retired before his 60th birthday, he was the richest man in his country, and by the time of his death he had become the richest man in the world. To critics, Rockefeller was a greedy capitalist who ruthlessly crushed the competition and established a monopoly without caring about anything but making money for himself. We need not approve or disapprove of the radical views that have been given about him and his way of doing business. We just need to learn about the keys that enabled him to achieve this success. Number 1. Be your own tyrant. If Rockefeller could have defined a principle for his success, it would be within this phrase of his, the most used by him: "I would rather be my own tyrant than have someone pull me." Nice Round Barnabas, his biographer, stated that John's most striking quality was his uncanny self-control. John's will was relentless in training himself to master his emotions so that he could direct all his impulses toward his goals. He set big goals for himself and then went for them, with a discipline that accepted no excuses even from himself. He pulled, made, and forced himself to accomplish to the point that extreme pressure became part of his routine, and he transformed it into a lifestyle that affected him less and less. Number 2. Be relentlessly persistent. John spent his childhood on the family farm from an early age, helping out on it, working as much as he could, while also devoting time to caring for his younger siblings. He didn't even finish high school, but he took a business course because he had discovered that he was very good with numbers. He had to look for jobs for weeks because no one wanted someone so young, and very few spent time interviewing him, but he didn't give up. And after 6 weeks walking under the inclement sun during the Cleveland summer, on September 26, 1855, he heard the words, "We'll give you the opportunity." He was assigned a position as an assistant accountant. Rockefeller proved to them that he could, and continually amazed him by his determination to accomplish tasks on time and go the extra mile at times, even staying overnight on the job. That was a turning point in his life, one that would not have happened had he not persisted until he achieved the goal. Number 3. Cultivate balance and control your impulses. One of the teachings John received as a child that he valued most from his mother was self-control. Win the battle because it means gaining control over others. He was different from the typical corporate mogul by cultivating a power that focused not on loud, flashy displays or table pounding to demonstrate a state of mind, but on quiet authority and restrained behavior. Number 4. Master your ego. The man who was the first man to reach a fortune in excess of $1 trillion routinely had conversations with himself that helped him stay steady and strong. Faced with the fears that sometimes he felt you have a lot of wealth, but if the oil fields run out, he was afraid that he would not be able to withstand the pressures of the business, that he would not be able to prolong his prosperity, and that he would let his ego inflate. We think we are good traders, but let's be careful or we will lose our heads. Let's be firm or we will let the money inflate us, he said, and questioned himself, and for others he taught only fools get puffed up by money. Tell us in comments what you are thinking about the video so far. Feel free to leave us a like, and remember, we will be happy to read you. Number 5. Pay as much attention to detail as possible. Rockefeller's biographer Chernoff wrote that Rockefeller seemed destined to succeed, not only because of his demanding work habits, his innate intelligence, and his nose for business, but also because of his extreme meticulousness and the fact that everything should be studied carefully. Personally, Rockefeller throughout his adult life presented himself well-groomed and neatly dressed. His face kept clean-shaven, and his shoes shone with a dazzling polish. He was careful about his punctuality. She would not allow herself to be late for any appointment or meeting. He was a faithful believer that no man has the right to waste another's time unnecessarily. Every piece of business he did or intended to do was thoroughly checked to the smallest detail. Nothing was left to chance. Number 6. If you want to be rich, have a purpose beyond getting rich. I know of nothing more despicable and pathetic than a man who devotes every hour of his days to making money for the sake of money. Those were John's words, although it is true that he was an ambitious young man who wanted to be rich. The motivation to build his empire was not fueled solely on the desire to be a millionaire. There were also personal satisfactions and purposes. John enjoyed his work, his identity as an entrepreneur, the autonomy and the daily challenges that came his way. He loved being John of Rockefeller and all that it entailed, good and bad. Number 7. Live wisely and modestly even when you shouldn't. Looking back, among the factors that most shaped the trajectory of Rockefeller's success was his decision to track, know and measure all of his spending and savings. From the time he was a teenager, John kept a strict and accurate record of his finances in a little red pocket notebook, which he called "Let Your Hair." Like a wizened old man, he kept it in a safety deposit vault. He treated it like a sacred relic, and that was what it meant to him, because it was a practice that taught him the value of every dollar or penny he earned and spent. It greatly influenced his life and everything he accomplished. He was never a spendthrift man. He appreciated money and the cost of getting it number 8 coordinate and run your business with numbers always. Numbers meant everything to the oil tycoon. He knew his company's numbers inside and out. Nothing escaped him. He preferred to spend hours documenting everything about the business rather than simply hearing it from his employees. If you have the ideals, the ability to work hard and work hard enough to turn your venture into a business and you the head, you may not be able to be involved in the day-to-day operations as you were in the beginning because of growth, but you must know all the numbers. It is not something optional. Only you can ensure that everything goes according to your plans and consider that the numbers are the first reflection of success or failure. If you are liking the video, I invite you to subscribe to the channel and take a tour of the playlist. I assure you that you will find quality content that will be to your liking. Number 9. Discipline today, tomorrow, and always. Discipline is a common factor in all successful people in the world. No one reaches the glory, the top, or becomes a champion without this great skill. Rockefeller was a master without a degree in this matter. Discipline is an art that he knew how to polish and radiate to all those around him. He was a man of unwavering schedules and unpostponable goals. There is no good place without discipline or without inspiring those who follow him. Discipline and success go hand in hand. Number 10. Learn to master yourself first, and you can take a shot at the world later. Rockefeller worked on training his body and mind every day of his adult life, yet he never managed to control them 100%. No one can do it, perhaps because the variables of life constantly test us in unknown terrain and emotions tend to dominate us. However, he managed to control himself to such an extent that he was able to fight many adversities and defamations against him. Despite this, he was able to turn his company into one of the most prosperous in the world and himself into the richest man on the planet. Number 11. Take breaks during the day, especially after eating. Breaks are necessary, not only because they help you recharge your batteries, but when you take a good nap, you can also escape from your work and find a different angle to approach a problem or project, and even clarify doubts, such as whether or not one of the most important roles or duties is to make the right strategic decisions, as these determine the future of the entire business, whether it is positive or negative. Rest when you do not find solutions. Sleep on it. Rest after every meal. Number 12. Your life and your work are a marathon. Always strive. True success is not achieved in short bursts in the middle of the hustle and bustle. It is built over time through consistency and determination in the times of educational preparation in school and college. I'm sure it's happened to you that you left homework to the last minute for the final hours of the day before the deadline, and you threw an all-nighter. In closing, you may have gotten away with it back then, but in business that doesn't work, treat your work like a marathon. Make sure you give your best effort every day, at least until you retire. That was John's approach at Standard Oil Corporation. Number 13. Mental compartmentalization. The key to focus. John once spoke about the importance of focusing on the crucial and said, "No, many of us who can't achieve great things fail because we lack focus, because we fail to concentrate the mind on what needs to be done at the right time, and we fail to exclude everything else." When you are cold, you are bombarded daily with problems, situations, tasks, and distractions. You must know how to stay focused on a particular problem, or you will be defeated by them all. Number 14. Remember and use the names of your coworkers. Doing this simple gesture means that you value other people, and in return you will get loyalty and respect for that detail. It is said that Rockefeller knew the names of the 3,000 close employees under his command. It's hard to believe, especially considering that at that time there were no smartphones or electronic devices that make such tasks easier for us today. But they claim he knew the names of everyone on his team: suppliers, customers, clients, businessmen, and so on. Number 15. Keep a consistent schedule. Success is built on consistency and discipline. There is no doubt about that. Keeping to schedules is essential and necessary. Guion was extremely strict in this respect and educated his employees by setting an example. All his days were governed by schedules that were rarely altered. He did not forgive delays or those who justified their delays in that sense. He would not listen to reason. Number 16. Rest on Sundays. Rockefeller was a man of great faith, a faithful believer in God. So he treasured Sundays and took Sundays off. It's okay if you're not religious, it doesn't have to be a Sunday either, but you do need to take one day a week to rest. You're not a robot, so make sure you recharge and figure out what balance you want in your life. If you are liking the video, don't forget to give us a like. For now they are free, and if you like, leave a comment about what habit you are liking the most and why. Remember that we will be happy to read you. Number 17. Forget fears when you want to borrow. During the American Civil War, Rockefeller took one of the biggest risks of his career. He borrowed $100,000 to expand his wartime oil refinery. Nothing is certain, and any investment can go down the drain. However, John gambled on himself and managed to profit from it like no one else. At that time, don't bet when you have everything going against you, but believe enough in you to go against everything if necessary. 18. Don't drink. Don't smoke. Stay away from vices. Strong beliefs build men of character. This helped John stay away from many vices. He never drank and never smoked. The truth is that we can all have a life without vices and without following a fanaticism. It is only a matter of character, of wanting a healthy lifestyle, with which we can teach what discipline and mastery of our emotions and actions means. Number 19. Really find out what it is you want and go for it. You need to have or find a purpose and know what you are fighting for. Because if you have a business and your plan is to figure it all out along the way, you are likely to spend too much time chasing the wrong things. No amount of money, fame, or level of authority will be enough, because every time you reach a new level, you will realize that it was not what you wanted. You will never be content and will always keep looking for something more concrete without knowing what. So set goals and set your mind to accomplishing them. Number 20. Think next level. Don't stagnate. Rockefeller didn't create the largest oil company on the planet at the age of 31, become the first person to be worth $1 trillion, or retire as the richest man in America by thinking small. He thought big about what others thought was fantasy or impossible. No matter what level you are at, always think about the next level. Build goals that push you forward. Surround yourself with people who are at a higher level. Learn everything from your superiors. so that soon you will be one of them, and once at the top, lift your head up and get ready to keep moving up. Number 21. Always give your best effort. There is not much to say about this. There is nothing to explain because without hard work it is impossible to achieve any kind of success or goal. Hard work, real effort, is the necessary foundation for achieving anything worthwhile in life. It is not debatable. Number 22. Talk less and listen more. People often confuse good leadership and communication with quantity rather than quality, and it should be made clear that the best leaders are those who listen, observe, and take it all in, because when they speak they do so with authority. There is strength and intrigue in silence, so don't push yourself to talk too much unless you have something of value to say. Number 23. Practice patience and persistence. Rockefeller, as a man of analysis and observation, once said, "I do not think there is any other quality so essential to success of any kind as the quality of perseverance. It surpasses almost everything, even nature. Success doesn't happen by itself. You must go for it, and how it does, or responsible for a business or home. You must understand, the mindset of a successful man must contain certain qualities or skills such as persistence, endurance, faith, and above all, patience." Number 24. When there is crisis, seek calm. All great companies fall into crisis at least once in a lifetime. With despair, nothing is ever solved. So in those moments, take a deep breath, meditate, step back for a second, and seek calm. By finding calm, the best solutions are found. John was a master at finding calm and taking refuge in it. Otherwise, it would be impossible for him to get ahead in the face of the continuous campaigns of allegations and defamation about his business practices. And even more so, when he had to face a trial before the U.S. Supreme Court. Number 25. Love what you do. When you love what you do, your work ceases to be a burden and becomes something you want to do. Even when you are in your free time, what you do should be done with passion and not by obligation. Under this principle, success will be within your reach. John D. Rockefeller was a man who achieved everything he set out to do and much more. It was not luck. It was his personality, his strong convictions. His indomitable determination was the main factor in his success. He went from being a country boy who took care of turkeys to the most valuable and influential businessman in the world, one who could manipulate the price of the most important resource of those times, oil. These were the 25 habits that can make you a millionaire. Tell us in comments which one you liked the most and why. By the way, give us a like and subscribe to the channel by activating the notification bell so you don't miss more content like this. See you in a future video.